Everyone, my respected seniors, Sri Karma Vamsha Bhutia, Sri Jagat Bahadur Rai, and Madam Jyoti Prakash. My colleague is Subarna Rai, and the rest judicial officers, and also Madam Nandita Pradhan. A very good morning. Again, we are here. Probably this is the last e-courts program for this financial year. This program is conducted because this is decided by the committee itself and implemented by the Sikkim Judicial Academy. Now, I will proceed as is the topic in the schedule given, which says that integration of technology in enhancing court efficiency and speed and access to justice through ICT solutions vis-a-vis court and case management. For the new judicial officers, I would say that this e-courts project is a project of Government of India, which is being implemented in the judiciary and in the entire country, including the Supreme Court and High Court for this financial year, the current ending financial year, and a huge budget of over 7,000 crores for the next 5 years has been sanctioned by the Government of India, and that budget is allocated directly to the high courts all over the country. As per the requirement, the requisition made by us, and as well as seeing the size of the high courts, right? And in some of the states are very active in funding the IT initiative of the courts, especially Madhya Pradesh, Manipur, surprisingly, despite all those civil conflict there, the budget for the state IT has been very good. For the first time, we are hopefully getting 50 lakh this year from the state government, though we had asked for 1.5 crores, but that's what they are just sanctioning 50 lakhs this year. Now, why do we need this budget? I'll be a little bit practical, because e-courts project, when it funds a particular initiative, it has its funding and its components are watertight. We cannot go from one component to another. But whereas if the state funds are there, then we'll have flexibility to move around to procure items, which is not there in the e-courts project. Take for example the security system, though it's not exactly a part of e-courts project, but if you see, even in our high court, if you see the security system, we have only one metal detector, right? So, and that too, once I tried to test it, and I asked one armed guard, with machine gun armed guard to go through it, it did not make even a sound. So we tried to bring it, and that time His Holiness Dalai Lama had come and they said all those metal detectors had been there, we'll give you one after that program is over. One came, but it is also of same quality, right? So I thought that we would procure, if we get 1.5 crores, apart from these systems, I can be flexible and bring all these things, and e-gate pass, etc. But I think it will not work that, because we are getting only 50 lakh, but however we try to do something out of that fund also. Now there's one more thing, why state is obligated in the e-courts project is, there's one memorandum of agreement signed between the High Court, the Union of India and the state government, where they are to fund all the recurring expenses. Recurring expenses include the salaries of e-Seva Kendra, all the replacement of computers. The e-courts project provides the equipments or the hardware only once, one time. Right? After that, all its replacement is the burden of the state government. And that is, in future, that is going to come to a very huge amount. Even for Sikkim, I think we cannot do less than any 5 crores in future if we have to sustain this project, right? So somehow we have started this year, so we are planning to increase it every financial year or demand more in the supplementary budget, so that, because state, once it gives the fund, if they give us 50 lakh this time, they'll have to give us 50 lakh next time. So whatever the base fund is there, we have to try to increase it, so that we can sustain ourselves, because e-courts project is not going to last forever. And so I think the CPC also, because most of the states, they have registrar IT as well. So this is the outline of the e-courts project, how it is working. Now, need for integration of technology in court and case management. Now, believe me, one thing I have been stressing every now and then in every committee program, that it is upon us, the judicial officers, who can take this forward. There's no need of any directions, like there are CIS, there are so many features out there. We can use it ourselves. It's just not for the uploading of cases or, viewing the cases. CIS has so many features, and unless we as a judicial officer of each courtroom, we are presiding there, and we are the masters of that courtroom, unless we push it there, it's not going to happen. Because the e-courts project, we are giving the equipments, etc. We are telling the CIS is there, so many apps are there. Unless it is used, it means nothing. And use doesn't mean, just using it for basic purpose. It has many features that can be explored, and everyone can, if you are free, then just log into the CIS and see. Every court has, actually the password should be with you, but that's practically not feasible to do. This is a court establishment which includes the JN court and JJB, and the district judge establishment as district judge court, and all other, if it's Gantok, then all other special divisions as well. Improved efficiency and speed. I haven't been in the era as a judge when our seniors told that there used to be a time when they used to write judgments with hand, and electricity would also not be there, and they used to light up the candles. Sometimes during the monsoon the day becomes very dark, if we have noticed, or sometimes in the evening. So that was an era which I didn't experience. None of us have experienced probably. The last batch, I think, of Shkila Madam was the one who experienced that era. So obviously, if you would compare, even though we were not in that era, but many others who had been, I think, lawyers then, like Prati Ma'am and etc., in his initial career, they maybe have been lawyers during those times, and they may have seen that. But there has been an improved efficiency and speed. We cannot deny this because of the e-system that has come to the courts. There is e-filing. Now, filing does not take much of a delay. A lawyer can file it from their own itself. So beginning from there, a little bit of speed is there in the justice delivery system. Of course, the inside courtroom procedure still remains the same of how we apply the procedure, but the external features or external things which add up to the delay of the case have much been reduced, so that the cases are disposed earlier. Improved efficiency and speed, enhanced access to justice. Just like as I said, even in our time when we were just practicing, though for less time, that to get a certified copy one had to reach to High Court. In fact, once from the chamber I went thrice, because the senior would say, tell the registry that I asked for it, give it. I went, they refused it. Second time also I went, third time also I went. So, and I informed the lawyer, the senior, that they are not giving it. You tell it's me giving it. So I used to go and come back to certified copy, application time, and then getting it ready. Still these processes are there in the courts. But to a great extent we have reduced it. We have the online application, where at the moment, though it has been a year that we are ready with even dispatching it online, but due to certain features in the SMS system, that because of TRI introducing certain guidelines, we are still stuck with getting that OTP to the applicant. So we are still working on it. And once that is rolled out, the online certified copies, one can receive it at their emails. No need to come to the court as well. At present, there is online certified copy, but to get the copy, you have to go to the court. Right? You can apply it online. And only those orders will be available which are in the CIS, orders and judgments. Because the physical records which are the older ones, just like let's say the petition, or let's say some exhibits, some wakalatnama, that is still not, we have still not fed that into the system. So to get the certified copies of these documents, you may apply online in writing, but we cannot give it unless you come physically. Cost effectiveness, of course, if you are traveling to the court and you would not like to walk, then of course you would have to pay the taxi fare. That is one aspect that has, and in the certified copy, I do not know, one can discuss it. I had a discussion with chairman also, but he said that we can't solve everything. Just like, let's say, online certified copy. The ultimate burden would go to the parties only. Even if it's online, they arise still, they will print it. So I do not know what is the purpose printing in the town. If the lawyers are printing in their own chambers, then obviously they'll shift that cost to the litigants. So it might be more also, the charging might be more also. So we do not know that. But yes, the other costs like traveling costs, just for the application, and sometimes you may reach the court and you may find out that the certified copy is not ready. So somewhere it has saved. Of course, transparency. Now you did not go and talk personally to someone to do something for you, right? That is one of the basics of transparency. When a third party involvement is gone, then that brings about transparency. You need not go from desk to desk for certain things to do. Environmental benefits, especially in the paper, we can save a lot of trees, as is said, by dispensing with paper. Inclusivity, everyone will feel that we are a part of the system, and then would also know that what's going on. If you are using online mode, you know what to do and how the process works, right? Otherwise, if you have to go to some person in the desk, you would not know the process, you would just know the outcome. These are most of the things that we all know, except maybe the new judicial officers. The e-courts project started with the formation of e-committee at the Supreme Court as long back as 2005. It's a pan-India project, which I said. The basic objective is to make the courts ICT enabled. Now, there's one topic out here called digital divide. It means the digital divide refers to the gap between individuals, communities, or regions that have access to modern information and communication technology, and those who do not, due to various factors like geographical disparities, economic inequalities, digital literacy gaps, and language barriers. So still there could be places where internet, one cannot use it because of the poor network. Even if you go to pockets of Gangtok also, at some places, even in the High Court, it's quite, most of the networks don't work except to a certain extent one of the network. So this is ICT initiative has the potential of bridging this gap. Okay, because it's not that we are giving hardware, okay, we are increasing the connectivity also. And that leads to accessibility to connectivity to various stakeholders, bridging the digital gap. Now, e-Seva Kendras we all know, right? And if the new magistrates would not know, e-Seva Kendra is a cabin funded by the e-committee and the e-courts project, where initially it began as something where only the electronic informations or the electronic works, which some people may not be able to do, or even some of the young lawyers may not have the scanners or the computers or internet. They can come to the e-Seva Kendra and file the petitions, etc., with the help of e-Seva. This started for that, but now e-Seva is considered as a one-stop center where everything is to be done, right? Actually, we can, if it is to be seen, we can combine the Judicial Service Center as well as e-Seva Kendra, because it's serving the same purpose. VC facilities also can be provided from here. This year we are giving cameras for the e-Seva Kendra also. It has already reached. We would dispatch those soon. Capacity building initiatives, just like this one of these programs. Okay, there are many other awareness programs for other stakeholders as well, and for the staffs. One of the very important thing in the ICT is that we cannot have records which are in paper. First, we need to scan these documents, all the case records, and digitize it, convert it into PDF format, searchable, and keep as a record. Then the next process is to destroy the physical records. But destroying physical records, one has to be very careful that whatever has been scanned is proper. That is the another task. In our High Court, we have not taken this as a separate project, where scanning and digitization. Some of the High Courts have taken this as a separate project, where there are employees who just do the job of scanning and digitization and verification that the records have been digitized properly, and thereafter shred all those physical files. We have not started with destroying the physical files, because our the record rule says for 30 years we need to maintain it. That's quite long. Though we have records in the High Court which are older than 30 years old. But since the scanning is going on, so we have not delved into destroying the records. But this has to begin sooner or later. Otherwise there's no point in digitizing and scanning if we still retain the physical files. The purpose of retaining physical files is because sometimes you may experience that the litigants or some people do ask for certified copies of very old record. Last time, I think last year, a case of 2003 or somewhere, someone had asked for certified copy of the charge sheet that is in the case, and that file was in the High Court. So that is the only purpose why we are preserving these records. But I would say that bail applications, some miscellaneous release, and no one would come for certified copy after years. I think we can begin soon that destroying the smaller miscellaneous files and the bail files. I think they also occupy a lot of space which has accumulated till date. So we can start with that. The wide area network, now 16 Mbps. 16 Mbps is quite a fast internet. But of course, when it's distributed all over, it does not give consistent 16 Mbps speed, but it does over around 12 to 13. So even the internet connectivity, and can anyone guess what is the bill for this, for the entire state of Sikkim? Then you can imagine what it would be costing to the states like Uttar Pradesh and all. We pay every year around 50 lakhs for this internet. It's the state government which pays for the entire state of Sikkim. It comes around 48 something, it sometimes fluctuates. This time it does not come because last time we had returned them saying why we are billing for Chungthang. Since it is already destroyed, they have not replied it, so we have kept it silent. So we have requested that Chungthang court should not be billed because it's not working. But they said us its upload link is there, so we immediately asked the person there to shut it down. So, but in any case, it was not used, so we are refusing to pay this. Let's see what happens next. But yes, the bill is paid by the state government as a recurring expense under MOU. So 50 lakh for how many? We have 6 districts and hardly Pakyong and so not much. So for UP and all, it goes to crores maybe. Paperless courts. Now one more thing, all judges, especially district judges, that there is a notification. I think Commerce has a signature on it which says that certain cases has to be compulsorily e-filed. In fact, it includes almost everything that comes daily to our courts. So I think kindly district judges may look into this. At least bail, we can start paperless from bail petition. We are very soon giving this Wacom monitors to the district courts, and these Wacom monitors has been procured on the one condition that commercial courts has to be paperless. So once that comes, it is upon the district judges to start that in commercial cases, that it should be paperless, because they ask us for videos and photos of that particular courts and all, and we need to show them some. It's not just for showing, but I think district judges can start with commercial paperless courts in the commercial courts. And bail petitions also, it's just, there's nothing, no evidence is to be adduced. With e-file, it can be consumed from CIS, and then from the CIS it can be transferred to the Wacom, and then bail petition can be decided there. But we have this, we may be feeling awkward when no files are there. And don't worry about certified copies and all, it's there in the digital, they can get it, there's no problem. So it's up to us only to start this. High Court will never, unless it doesn't start, then High Court may be required to say that please start. But there's no bar. It's the E-Committee's project, and paperless courts are recognized everywhere. and we need to start this at least from the small miscellaneous cases so that we become familiar to it and the new judges coming will see and take that forward. Because if you stay with paper, the new ones will also get into that line and they would also not be very eager to go into it, because what we did then they would learn that, right? And to be frank, the courtroom of Honorable Justice Bhaskar Raj Pradhan is completely paperless, in a sense that he conducts the proceedings paperless. Of course, the files are there because we have still not done away with. The implementation is the files come and it's scanned and it's put, or if it's e-filing, then we directly, if it's properly e-filed, we directly pull it from there, and there is a software for which the paperless system works. Software developed by the High Court itself. More or less, it's so far so good. Yes, yes.
So once the Wacom computer screen comes, it is touch screen, right?
Yes, yes.
So that will be accessible to us. But will it be connected to the stenographer's computer, and the screen also would be...
To use Wacom?
No, getting access to whatever we are taking on the screen.
See,
let's say we are turning pages on the screen.
Yeah.
And then since our thing has to be connected to the stenographer's computer also, because whatever she types, we have to dictate. So will it be connected, and will whatever we are viewing, will the stenographer also be viewing?
Yes, we can connect it. Okay. There are shared drives, etc. We can connect through LAN also. You see, Wacom is just a advanced monitor. It's a computer. It needs a CPU. So the CPU will be of your computer like Dell, etc. Okay, but its features is advanced. It's easy to use. Actually, Wacom monitors are meant for architectures, drawers, what do we call, artists, etc. Because that gives so many features to work on this project. But yes, since it uses a batteryless pen. Okay, the pen is not required to be charged, and then it has many features like palm rejection, etc. The one which we brought, we are unable to find even the computing. Where is the settings for palm rejection? So we are still working on that, because before providing it to the courts, we need to be sure of how it works, right? So we are working on that. What you said is you can connect it. There's no problem in connecting two computers. There are shared drives also. Locally we can share it, right? So and what are the things that steno needs to see what you are doing? In ordinary physical file, they do not see it.
Because when we are viewing the 5 days files, we also have to look at what she is writing in the order sheet, because we are dictating it, and then that is the only screen. If that is the only screen that is in front of us, we need to be making sure what the stenographer is typing is correct. Because when we are dictating, also the words are sometimes they are like two similar sounding words which they write, like from or for something like that. So that all needs to be connected. So their computer has to be connected to our speed so that we are able to make the correction.
So you cannot use a single CPU for both the computers.
More like online.
Yes, yes, yes.
The access where the stereo or the computer, so that will be what we are just putting on what we put in the device. And this is stereo on the old screen, we know the old screen that we have. And there are two screens. I mean, yeah, the walking which is the tablet kind of.
Yes, yes, yes. It's a 24 inch.
So, and then once the stereo actually finishes the order, she will send it to us.
Yes, yes, yes.
We will sign it, and we will get it. I think it's my understanding.
Let's see if there is one port called VGA. Let's see if just for viewing the screen, if we can use VGA, we will see to that. But I think that would be exclusive to the judge, okay, where for viewing files, etc., scrolling the case pages, because the software which we have developed, it contains all the index, which page contains what. Okay, it has the table of contents also.
I think that will also be an issue, because right now when we are having the physical papers on hand, the numbering done by the parties is such that it's like double. Because some of the documents already have numbers and they override on it, and they are saying this number, the other party is saying no other number, and then we try to flip the page and we don't find them.
That has to be that. I think that can be worked at the local level by district judges. It has district judges, the administrative powers to deal with number of pages. For the High Court, we are trying to bring an amendment, because the High Court in the first page the page does not have a number. then it starts with ABC, something like that, if subordinate. Then 1 comes. Now the problem we are having in the courtroom 3 is, Lord Chief Justice Bhaskar is with his own PDF numbers, and the lawyers are referring to the file numbers, right? Because there is a High Court rule which says, how to paginate. We are trying to amend that for the High Court. That can be implemented in the District Court also. And that is still, because everyone have their own idea of, inserting pages. People have worked in different Honorable High Courts, right? Judges have worked in different Honorable High Courts, and their experience somewhere is something else. So, of course this is needed. Otherwise paperless becomes very difficult. Lawyer would be referring a different page. So what we are proposing is, it should start from page number, whatever pages are there, whether the front page, the title page, it should start 1 from there. Or the PDF reads that 1. We can create the second page, we can give number 1 to the second page also, but that needs another work to be done, we have to start from there. So that is there. For commercial courts and for even the CJM, as a commercial judge, we are giving welcome, and to the Judicial Magistrate Canton, because 1 extra was left, so considering that court is one of the busiest court in the entire state, so that someone else who comes there would be familiar before getting promoted, we are giving there. This time we could not give to the special divisions, we'll try in this financial year, because they had said only special court, somehow we managed to add 1 or 2 court and ask for it. And the Judicial Magistrate in all districts are also not creating, only this CJMs are getting. We have 13 of them. So the software, paperless software is developed by the High Court itself, and I've been told that there is one feature called digital codes, which can be used by the district courts. We'll see to that. It's already given by e-committee, they are saying it, and it's much better than our software, I've been told.
Sir, I have a suggestion to
Yes.
suggestion to make. After the Wacom are installed in all these courts, perhaps my brothers and sisters will also agree with me that one training program could be kept,
Yes.
so as to familiarize as to how it is to be used, so that we can use it in the
Yes.
optimal manner.
Yes, I note that.
Thank you, sir.
Probably the digital court software which is there from the committee, that will be tried for the district courts, and then I'll bring the technical persons only who are testing it now, and then they will give the trainings.
Right, sir. Thank you.
I request director to not to make us the resource persons for this very technical things, right? Actually, it's not very technical also, but we do not use it every day, therefore,
Just to familiarize.
in fact, I tried to keep it 1 for myself, but I couldn't because the required numbers I have to give it to the court. But thought was, why should not I keep it 1 and try it in my own chamber? And I think text-to-speech, the software is also being given. I think it is that Dragon only. I'm not sure which company is that, but text-to-speech software is also there. Because paperless contains all the components, okay? It's not just that hardware walk-up. It contains text-to-speech, many other things are there. It includes camera. And live streaming, we are trying to implement in the court of principal district and session judge for live streaming, which we will be bringing it to other courts. Because in Sikkim, it's possible to make all the courts live. And that was the reason why I was asking money to the state government, because the e-committee has their own, they do not give for every course. Their rule says 50% of the courts should be so and so. If the rest 50 are not there, okay, keep it for now. We might do that later on. But one thing about e-committee is that if we ask them, and if we can explain to them that this is what is our requirement, they usually do not refuse the fund. But since we have to remain within that boundary, it's quite difficult to ask them that we need this and that, because every High Court would start asking differently after that. Which is there in the High Court, the paperless software, paperless court software. Everything, including actually it's one should be able to use it properly. Otherwise, it contains all the features. You can access the legal database like SCC, Manpatra, and all through this software only. There will be links, etc., where you can. But for that, you all need to stop, printing the SCC after opening it or asking for the AR from the library. Otherwise, it's pointless. Now, Kerala. The Kerala High Court also has a similar software, but what they have is, even the lawyers can log in. They would not go to the judge page, but lawyers can log in and they can see the status of the court, what the particular, in fact, certified copies, in future I don't think certified copies would be required also. Why is it required? If the lawyer could see what has proceedings have taken place in the day, okay? And if it can be referred to during the course that it is here, then actually it's not required also. Though still we have Evidence Act and etc. which asks for certified copies and all. And in our amendment to the certified copies rules in the High Court, we have proposed that the digitally signed certificates, the certified copies, would be acceptable as true in the jurisdiction of Sikkim. At least we can do that. If the High Court issues that, so someone can come with digitally certified also. And it can always be verified. And we have developed this QR codes in that, where if you scan that, you can directly go to the website where the actual judgment is loaded, so that its authenticity can be seen. Actually, there is no such danger. All these dangers in it are perceived. Of course, it is possible to do it, but it takes a huge lot of efforts to do that. And why would someone do that unless that person wants to do something? Okay, those possibilities will always remain. But to change the QR code, and it requires an effort. One has to go to the judgment, change it, and even if they change it, that code will not take them to the original website. If they want to work more hard, they will have to change our judgment in the website itself, in our repository, which is very difficult. Okay, now we are installing firewall also in the hardware form, so things will be very difficult. This is the judge, Honorable Judge 3. Judge 2 would see his cases this way in his computer. This is the process. If it's e-file, it's very easy. We need not rescan it, right? All those PDFs can be directly fed into the paperless software. So as you see, Wacom DTH2452, we have already procured that. It's a 24-inch touchscreen display providing an interactive and user-friendly experience for judges. Interactive. So to be interactive, I think you will need to interact with that system. Otherwise, if you just keep it there and scroll, it will not interact. So one needs to use that, what is, come on, play with it and look inside what's there and all that. Because trainings we all know, right? You forget it. Unless we use, and computer is a thing which we will not understand unless we use it. And for the younger ones, I think you all are familiar with computers. You are that generation which needs to take this forward in the course. E-filing, you all know. Anyone from the professional magistrates? E-filing, do you all know? Otherwise, the seniors all know what is e-filing. I need not repeat it. You all know. Anyone has practiced in the court before? From the new batch? No one? Never? Not even once? Okay. E-filing, the lawyers can file their cases from the web or the mobile phone directly to the courts. They need not take the petition to the registry or the filing center in the district courts. You can stay at home, file even at 2 o'clock. Of course, we have certain rules for that. The e-filing beyond certain time will be counted as filed, will be accepted the next day. The filing date will remain the same. A case can be e-filed. The word itself is self-explanatory, right? Of process. Of course, it has to be, and the identity of the person registering is kept as a record, so that not everyone who is not required also would sign it. You can see it. This is the pages that would be opened while e-filing by the lawyers. I don't know, his father is a lawyer. You have seen it? E-filing. Maybe you did sometimes. Do you e-file?
I've tried.
Tried in a sense?
I've tried resisting.
Okay. This we need not go in detail because, and nowadays there are draft pleadings. There are templates are also there. so that you need not, type everything. And it's a fairly good template. Probably in the future they would include the AI also in this, because now AI is growing very much in the social medias. Right now you can see those the types of videos, because Instagram, Facebook, they all have a purpose. People are earning from them. Those who are serious there do create serious contents, right? Whatever is it. So now the AI system is coming there. So many things can be done, but we still don't have it here. And these social medias are the harbingers and potential implementers of every technological development that comes. You can do anything in this e-filing act. You can see the status of your case. You can see what you have uploaded. Okay, whether your your filing has been rejected, etc. IAs are also there. IAs are interim applications or interlocutory applications, whatever it may be called. So it contains, as far as possible, all the legal requirements that is required to file a case is available in this e-filing services. Ask here.
No, I'm just having a discussion about this. Having this paint, if somebody is filing a solution and we search is suggested that we can see it in the code. When there is a filing, we can see the paint in our computer. I was not aware of that. So.
Yes, sir. See, once it's e-file, I'll tell you the process. Once it's e-file, it's fetched by the CIS. The CIS which we have, especially the 3.01, okay? When the e-filing is there, it need not be printed and again registered. That's why it's so important that,
Is it functioning in our code also?
Yes, why not? That's how it is done. You need not type everything. It fetches the data automatically of whichever is there. Okay. So that's why we call metadata. No? All this e-filing app and CIS are so well made that they almost don't leave anything. But the problem is, the filing should be proper. The cases, in criminal cases, what happens is, the charge sheet and etc. We are having this issue everywhere. There was a meeting last time. Even the charge sheet should come in PDF form actually. It's coming sometime in some cases, but the physical file is coming later on. Okay, and still, since it is not filled in properly from the CCTNS side, our staffs are still sitting down to verify it with the physical file, so it's being pointless, right? So everything that is fed, it comes to CIS. And another thing is that, now we have also given our API. API is a connector between two softwares, okay? We have given that API to the police also. They also can see to a certain extent of the status of the case, of what's happening in the court. They can enter CIS for limited functionality. We have started that. And then it's about interlinking. Otherwise, it's pointless.
So can't we have a separate application, especially for criminal cases, and integrate it to the police and us? So it will be easier for us to, application for example, just charge sheets is there and then evidences. Just have we can just click on it and then it will be on our screen.
Before filing of charge sheet.
After filing charge sheet, we can have a separate application just to make it convenient. For example, just the CCTNS company that comes before us that is there. But wouldn't it be more convenient for us if a separate application, just to so X is easy one to like if your application for easier access, easy application, so actually just charge sheet not figure it, just charge sheet become. Because I was in the training, they showed us, I think that was the app that was launched by the High Court of that state probably. They had a specific app that could be accessed by the police also and us also. They would upload the charge sheet and everything in that application and then we could see it in our screen.
That's right. It's in our screen, means your courtroom screen. See, it will not come to your screen, but it will definitely come to the CIS once the charge sheets are uploaded by the police. And CIS, it can be opened in your computer also, just to see it, right? But to make it more usable, usable, just like that's what I'm telling you. To make it more usable, once paperless starts, we have a software which contains this everything. Charge sheet, whatever it is, and your day-to-day proceedings, etc. It's just, replication of paper in the screen. But yes, what you are telling, the data still comes to the CIS. Okay?
It does, sir, but we can't access it because we just need like, you need the internet on that. So it is not easier. For example, if application challenge, we have a tab. For that, we don't need any.
Yes, sir, that can be done through digital codes, which we will try to implement once that Wacom is given. Okay. But as you are saying, the data comes to the CIS. Okay, we can develop an application which says that whatever is in your courtroom, okay, that can be seen at your home also, right? So this software, though at the moment our paperless software, which as well is working on the NIC net only, but of course we'll increase that because it's not very easy. Okay, we need to whitelist so many things. Okay, there is a thing called whitelist. We need to certain URL, the URL we need to seek permission from certain authorities that okay, this be accessible through common networks also. So yes, that can be done what you are telling. But once that digital code comes, I think digital code, as far as I know, I have not entered inside it. I think it's a web-based and that can be accessed anywhere by a particular login. Unlike our software, which uses NICNet, and if you have a NICNet at home, then of course the quarters, the Honorable Judge's quarters do have that. You can use that, okay? But I think digital codes has that features. The only problem we are having, as Sir would also know it, with the SPS, it's such a problematic to implement so many virtual things, like virtual codes also. We are ready with it. But the e-payment, again, it has to go to SBI. And SBI is not something we will just allow us to enter their system just for few rupees. Our revenue from the courts is very less. It's not something which attracts them, right? And there are third-party softwares like GRAS and etc. But I do not know how it works. This statement is very important. All administrative tasks related to e-filing 3.0 must be carried out in the CIS. The CIS includes a dedicated section for e-filing 3.0 as shown below. See, there is consume data, e-filing dashboard, verify e-filing cases. So everything happens out here, your query. Okay? From e-filing it comes out here. Consume means you take the data from them. You can verify these cases also whether it has been filed properly according to the rules, etc. Okay, but for this, actually by now the section in the Judicial Center, the Judicial Service Center, the people who have been deployed there should be knowing the actual procedures of law by now. They have been working for so many years. What worries me is they are so mechanical that they would not know processes such as cognizance, which petition should come first. Just like in, as we were talking with Sir also, in civil cases, unless the Section 18 notice is there, you cannot, unless the court gives the leave to file the case, no one can file it, right? So, I do not know. But the plaintiff is also registered, the leave application is also there, and you do not know. If you reject, then what happens? You will have to delete that case. Or you have to write some order of that. Actually, it should not have come on. These are legal things which by now the people in the filing section should have known it. Like cognizance in NI Act. Okay, if the date is absolutely wrong, it bars so many things. And I don't know, because of one of the judgment, what used to happen in the NI Act, while I was in the later part of being a CJM at Gangtok, that I am not sure. There was one judgment which says, in those documents, no, I think not judgment. What practice was going in the court was that, the lawyers would come to the Judicial Service Center, and Act has a very strict timeline. And they would file that case on a particular day without the supporting documents. And they would say to this Judicial Service Center, I'll bring that later on, kindly file it. Which they could have rejected. It's a very ground of rejection. But they were accepting it, and I have faced those situations when the case comes, there are no documents, and when I called the CIS people, they said that documents lawyer said we'll give later on. Because I can take cognizance on bare minimum things, right? I need more documents. But filing doesn't mean you have filed it, get it registered. In most of the cases, it may happen, where limitation is a question, even in civil cases. And civil cases, we all know the application can keep on during the entire tenure of that case. So So I do not know, there should be a definite strict policy on this, that okay, we will not do it.
The filing number unnecessarily keeps going up.
Hmm.
The filing number, because you're rejecting the cases. So once the number has been generated, now it cannot be used again, right? So that filing, there's too much.
What may happen in the later on is that the things will become so technical that, going technical is removing the, manual intervention. So a time may come when this becomes so technical that once we stop manual intervention, then the, system will itself reject it if we have not brought the documents, etc. So one day that time may come when that will make a little bit things easier. The problem is, our legal system is so wide. It almost, for the cause of doing substantive justice, allows everything. That's why we have so much pendency, don't you think so? A case can come back from honorable writ courts, constitutional courts, back to your court after many years saying this point is not there. So our doors of justice is very wide open in the Indian legal system, and to admit these electronic systems are very strict. They cannot admit things which cannot be, which does not seem logical. The system needs logical things. That's why it's quite difficult. Now one may say, there are arguments from the stakeholders that this CI is very difficult to use it. You cannot make it more easier than this. It's a legal system. It's not. Initially, even I used to think the banks, which have such huge monies and such huge transaction, so easily, even during night time, you can transact it without a hitch. Especially these very good banks. Now, how do they do it? Why can't we do it in court? I used to think that, but it's not simple as just banking process of transacting money. Because of the law that we have, it's difficult to make the CIS or any other e-system to fit into our legal processes. Because we always have, if this, then this. If no, if it doesn't happen, we always, the law is based on reason and the computers are based on logic. So it's not that it's impossible to make it, but it requires a very high level of skill to make these systems very eased one. Law, especially in our country, is not very simple. Limitation, if you take for example, condonation of delay, the discussion is so wide. We almost condone 99% of the cases. And even that 1% may be set aside, saying that no, right? So it's very vast. And that is one of the reasons of pendency, according to me. I feel that if someone doesn't come in time, they cannot come after years in the name of substantive justice. I think we need to change these things to adapt to these systems. Justice should be done in time and also taken in time. Then only our pendency might decrease. Otherwise, just having a system will not. This is the dashboard which is seen in the CIS of the e-file cases. Yes, Madam Nairithya? I think he was asking, does it come to the CIS? It comes in this way. Okay? So you can see them sometimes. Open it in your own courtroom and ask for the login.
So it's just, I think it should be made a very convenient, like Facebook, Instagram, Apple.
No, that's what. No, that's what I spoke just now. No.
Read the plaintiff first.
No. That's what I spoke just now. What we do in Facebook? Upload photo and anything else? See someone's profile? Of course, for friends.
I think the Facebook app, which is convenient for me. I'm seeing it for the book.
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to tell. That's what I spoke just now. It may be in the future. I said, no, the legal system is so complicated. It works on reasons and these things works on logic. So to fit the two systems together becomes a little bit difficult. This is one of the most easiest they have made. Of course, it can be more easier, what you're trying to say. I think the very page, what to say, threatens you that, please don't open it, right? You're feeling that way. But if you see, 97 consumed, this has to be there. We cannot do away with this dashboard. This is the bare minimum that is put there to make it more user-friendly. We have so many data coming, right? It's not just one, like what we say. And if you don't see Facebook or Instagram, there's no harm. But if you don't use this properly, they would
But capture so difficult in CIS or not. Every time you have to enter twice or thrice, the capture does not match just because there's very, and it's not even clear. Small S
So
or
this,
S you don't know.
one thing I may admit to you is, okay, and one thing I can admit is the things which are being built, the platforms on which ours are built is, it's not that it's very bad. It's all based on, the NIC, the government. And what example I may give, it's though coming in my mind. See, the government sectors which they have, these are very good applications, right? But if you see Facebook and all, they are not very much secure. It seems to be secure, but you will find lots of cases where you can logging into Facebook and etc. for a good hacker is not a hard thing to do. They can do easily. But to log in now, why they are maintaining this? The more efficient the application is, you will have to compromise somewhere with the security. Okay, of course there are technological efforts to make it very easy one also, and also not compromise the security. Just like if you take for example the old commander jeeps, they would not burn very easily, even if you put the fire to it. But if you use the electronic vehicles which you have, it drives very well. Okay, it's very smooth. It takes you faster. But security point of view, these vehicles burn very fast. Even a small spark. And another thing, if it breaks down, only the skilled one can do it, right? So ours are more reliable, but not that efficient. It's the platforms which is being built upon. They're trying to do it, right? And Facebook and all, how did they develop? They sold something, made money, and they've used a lot of money to do this. To make this software for the entire country, it requires a huge amount. Manpower, and the government sectors do not work with intent of earning, right? They want to serve some purpose, and the good brains and good minds would obviously be in the private sector. Though these fields, let's take for example the computer boys in our High Court are extremely excellent. I tell them, what you all are rotting out. You should have done some your own private sectors. But they are happy there because every month the salary comes. So at some point of time, even the good ones. So it's not that I'm not telling that these sectors are bad, but it's not. They do not work as they work in the private sectors. So of course, what you're saying, that's what I said. And what I see is, once it is very easy, there is a little bit of compromise in security, and I think that is the captcha thing. Even I don't like that captcha, and it's some of them I cannot read it. I know it may be my personal problem, but it's very difficult to read whether it's O or 0, right? And these captchas are very difficult ones.
O is rounded, 0 is like something narrow. That is
No, if they would keep it separately, it would be easy to identify, but they are mixed up together, and you don't see some of the curves there. And sometimes by the time you enter the last, you have entered the wrong one, and you enter, they say, yeah, captcha is wrong. I think you are finding in that website, no?
CIS,
No, I think that is website. That is very heavy website. It takes long time to open it. It's very heavy. The person in the Judicial Service Center tasked with the purpose verifies the filed cases. These are not required. Coach is there, okay? Our everything is ready except that e-payment. Virtual courts are those courts where you can log, a particular judge can log. In many of the states, okay, there is a particular judge who is tasked with dealing with motor vehicle cases only. So they do through virtual courts. We can log into virtual courts. The police would make the data entries in their system, and it would come to this. And the accused need not be summoned. All the processes are there, whether he wants to pay a fine, plead guilty, or not. Especially it takes place in motor vehicle cases. We are trying to implement this in CZ and Gento. Let's see how it works, okay? So that all motor vehicle cases are dealt virtually. Okay, it has, in fact, a judge himself did not do it also. If the pescar is good enough, then once that the judge tells that this is the instruction, because in motor vehicle cases, the fines which you may impose may be consistently the same amount in all type of that particular offense. So once that is known, the only the data input is to be made there from the judge side, which goes to the accused through SMS and all. That is very much required in our state, because motor vehicle, don't you think motor vehicle offences are there? But in the name of the compounding, it never comes to the court. Of course, compounding is a procedure given by law. But once this system is there, the manual intervention is gone. The only intervention that is there is the police. And nowadays in many states, police are sitting with devices, it can be connected with that. And they need to make basic inputs which comes to the court. Now there's a timeline. After that timeline also, if the accused does not appear in the court, then the judge can close the virtual proceedings and transfer this case to the main court, which judge. Okay, that is how it is done in other states. There are specific magistrates who will sit in the virtual courts for motor vehicle cases. There are so many motor vehicles, like Delhi has. Right? Delhi has one of the highest revenue after liquor from motor vehicles. Northeastern states say that, we do not have much motor vehicle cases, therefore we are not starting. Now I feel once this is started, cases will come. Because now the police have to argue with the offenders down there. Now only thing once this comes, they will say is, please go to court. Right? Then there's no option left. Then once court is set, people also don't argue much. So instead of for the police to argue, they can compound it. If a person argues too much, he can just click the button and say, go to court. And then the issue is over, the person has to come to court. And the summons will come from court to him if he does not, do the things virtually. He can appear in court also after getting SMS and just close. But this has a timeline. It's the e-payments. Now we are using SBI e-pay, okay? Because it is under Reserve Bank of India. And we cannot connect to SBS directly online. All our payments goes to SBI and only physical deposits goes to SBS. Even if you see the electricity, there's prepaid meters. They are prepaid. Now photos all are prepaid. So there's one third-party app. It deposits in some bank, I guess, and from there the money has to be physically carried to the SBS. SBS has no online facility which integrates. So you may be saying that how it is done. So that's the same thing we are doing. We have done with SBI. The payment goes to SBI, and from there certain accounts maybe are raised, and that what's the amount, it goes to SBS. There is this eGrasa. These are third-party software which integrates the court software and the bank software. Okay, it comes in the middle. So Sikkim does not have this system. These are independent the systems. We can do without that also. We can directly connect with the bank also. There is no issue. But the banks would not allow, right? This is like those third parties which fills the, let's take for example, which fills the ATM. Bank does not go to ATM and fill it. So these are the integrating apps, integrating APIs. This we all know. Now this was our financial year 24-25 budget allocated and the utilized so far. We had received 10 crores, 11 lakhs, 26,803, out of which we have utilized 8 crores, 97, 69, 512. We have saved this much amount. This saving was because of the tenders and tenders or the GEM portal. We get the products in lesser price than estimate. So this is from that we have saved that much. We have asked 50 lakh for special request to utilize 50 lakh from this saving. Our total saving is 1 crore something, 63 plus 50. Okay. From that we have asked 50 lakhs, but till today we have not received any approval so far. Today is 29th. Okay, then 30, 31, and on the e-codes, this account is in the Reserve Bank of India, New Delhi. Okay. So they have a system on 31st midnight. This becomes zero automatically. So even if we don't spend it, it goes automatically back. So we still have 2 days time. We have been told that wait till 29th. So if we get this, we'll be installing 30 kVA UPS for the High Court new servers, and our target is 100% achieved even if we don't get the 50 lakh. And I found that we are the state which have achieved the target 100%, still save the amount. Many of the bigger high courts, they still need more money. So last time what the E-committee did was, there was a program at New Delhi on 26 November. They showed this percentage wise, and they determine the performance of the High Court based on the percentage, and ultimately it comes down to CPC, because when trouble comes, you have to stand alone. When things go wrong, you'll have to give credit to the team or everyone. So in this one, what we have is we have given all the all-in-one pieces to the district courts. Still it will be coming more. And then scanners. Now this time we are giving document visualizer also for this paperless courts. That can be, because in our state what I did was, there's thing called online court also, which definition is not there. I think it's virtual courts only. And just like commercial court also functions as district and session judge court, right? So it can be used there also. So we'll be giving document visualizer, text to speech, speech to text, the software, many other things I don't even remember. Wacom, PCs are coming, okay, scanner, PTZ cameras, and live streaming equipments for PTZ court. All courts are getting camera, the commercial courts, the citizen court, and all those which courts are doing commercial. But because they are doing other cases also, so I said that all courts are getting it. Actually, it's meant for commercial courts. And we are also, overhauling these servers in the High Court. And you will be surprised that one of the server called NAS server costs more than 1 crore. It's a storage device that we are coming, and we are installing firewall hardware, which is costing around 58 lakhs something. And then other servers, okay, which also cost, the total budget was 4 crores 15. We obtained it in 3 crores 8 lakhs. The lowest bidder bid for 3 crores 8 lakhs. So there's a lot of change in the equipments that are coming. Now the servers are very high, because why these servers are being given is, there is a proposal to shift to cloud storage, right? So once you move to cloud, another reason is now the E-committee. Now this project cannot be always, under the umbrella of E-committee, Supreme Court of India or Department of Justice, right? Somewhere someone has to take responsibility. So they are trying to tell us that, we need to be ourselves self-sufficient, and these servers, because at present our servers are in New Delhi, okay, the NIC servers. Of course, some of our applications are hosted in state NIC. But they have stopped. Now the problem with New Delhi server is that they do not update it, and in fact the main server is only at times put into functional, because they cut it off so that there's no attack on it, because it's not just they are hosting us, all the defense, all the ministries data are there. So upgrading our system becomes very difficult if we stay with that server, because they hardly make it online. And to update our applications, our websites, we need to have the main server go online. They shut it down. In a sense, it is not connected with internet, because it hosts many applications. It's actually a static one, okay? It does not do day-to-day function, just like our website. We need not every time upgrade it. So it hosts those applications which need not require frequent changes. And because of that, they cut it down and we cannot upgrade it. So that has been one of the problems, and we are constantly advised to shift from there to state data centers. So we have shifted to state data center to a certain extent, and more what is there is, if we have our own servers, we can host our applications there. The only thing it increases is the task. Okay, because we would be responsible if anything happens to the server. And one more, and why cloud storage is preferred also, because the cloud servers, because if any natural calamity occurs, let's say the earthquake which came in Myanmar, okay, then if that magnitude comes here, God knows, I was worried where I stay is, it will crash down in I think 3.5 or 4 also. So if that happens and all the servers are crashed, then all our data are gone. Many of the high courts have, what they have done is, let's say, I think Delhi High Court has a backup server in somewhere in Chennai. Right, so that can be done. If one place faces natural calamity, there's a hope that the other place doesn't, and it's still the data are safe. We do not have that backup now, but we are hoping that the cloud servers are in the project. Probably this safe they launch it. Then we'll keep our main applications there, and the internal ones we can keep in our servers. The NAS storage is a network attached server. It is the one which we are procuring is a 500 TB. So that's why it's actually server is not costly. It's the memory that is costly. So 500 TB costs a lot.
If you do cloud storage, is it not perceptible to threat again?
Yeah, the clouds, the ones that actually people are moving on to is of many private players like Amazon. There was in one of the sessions in Bangalore, people did raise question about its security, because I do not know, once the courts are always concerned about the data security, right? We haven't been so transparent also, we haven't been so opaque also as a judicial system. We are giving orders. In fact, anything asked to us, we are giving, right? So I do not know what kind of threat it is perceived. Of course, the major threat would be, wiping of the entire servers. Data would go, because we are turning digital. That is the main threat actually. Other threat, someone manipulating with the document is not that easy also, and we will be knowing it. Only someone to manipulate a judgment will have to do a drastic change, and we as judges will be knowing it. That we will be able to a larger extent, identify which are fake, probably fake judgments, right? We would not be that blind also. So why would that someone do that also, unless it's very much essential? And we would not work unless we do our homework or research, right? Of course, the AI system coming may give us the wrong data, because it does give the wrong information. So that's a different aspect. Going to cloud, I don't know, but these private players also would not, because they will be taking money for this, okay? It costs quite a lot. But now we have purchased, Sikkim has a small, because of our capacity, we have been given a small space in the cloud server. We have not, shifted our data there, but it is purchased by the committee only, so we have certain cloud storage given. So, but, that's what the actual thing they are looking for is whether we can take responsibility of these data instead of someone in the center. So they want the High Court itself to be responsible if anything goes wrong. That requires manpower at our end, which is very less. Every day we need more manpower, right? So as data security, data threat would always be there, but do we have option? We need to move to cloud. As I said, that natural calamity, if it occurs and servers are crashed, the very next day we'll have nothing with us. Right. So in future, we need to open some. That's why we need funding from the states. The 1.5 crore was the minimal I asked. We at least require 5 crores as on day-to-day from the state government to make things very proper. So somewhere the funds come into play, okay? So that we can be flexible with our demands. The committee's projects, it does not let us be flexible. We have to do what has been asked to do. But components are being given to us. And there is a limit in buying. Thankfully, we got welcome for the amount that the committee gave. We were thinking we will not get it. We tried a lot with other brands also. And someone told me that, that welcome may come in this amount. So we tendered, it was supplied from a firm from Ceylon, which I later on found they are supplying to all the Northeast High Courts, the welcome. So the more supply you have, they can sell it in much lesser price, okay? So that's why I think we got that welcome, thankfully. Otherwise, most of the high courts have bought the Indian company called ViewSonic. We are only few of the high courts which have Wacom. Because in Jane, this Wacom is not there. There is ViewSonic calling almost similar to Wacom, but no match to it. And the pricing is much lesser than Wacom was. So sometimes, hopefully this will be edited properly, Mr. Others. Sometimes, what I mean to say is this project is not that you can work like someone as a clerk out here. Just like I was giving for an example, I wanted Wacom, right? Even our honorable chairman wanted Wacom. I showed him another option also. There's one more brand called Bouillon, which is quite good one. So we tendered it in such a way that Wacom comes. Now we are people who have studied law, right? So we know where to make things proper and keep it proper. Because if I would gone for generally, I would have got ViewSonic. And I know that it is not a product that will sustain for a long time and not and almost to the price of Wacom, right? So yes, we managed to get Wacom by specifying certain requirements which only Wacom could give, just like batteryless pen. No one gives except Wacom. So we wrote one of those conditions. Is it illegal? Many of the courts have. Honorable Supreme Court has Wacom. You cannot. Wacom is not something you get in marketplace everywhere. Okay. So that way we'll have to procure items, and somewhere you will have to put your head in. What is in the you have to stand in the gallows somewhere, hoping that nothing happens, and you will be acquitted. Honorable, right? So this actually I call this equals central project coordinator. This job is more than a coordinator. It's actually management. It started as a coordinator where everything we were coordinating, but now everything is given to us. The more the years pass, the more things will be given to us. You see it, you do it. Okay. The committee of High Court would be responsible. We would not be. So that's how the project is evolving as of now. So we can take a tea break on 11:30. That we are procuring for the courtrooms, maybe for the Canto court, small courts, it's not essential. But for the other courts, especially in the districts with new buildings, we are procuring this audio system for the microphones. It contains microphones and sound system. And the one that is being supplied to us is it's a company called Televic. Which is of it's actually Belgium brand, and I've been told that this system has also been used in the new audio systems for the Manan Kendra. And then, though this is not one of the best, there are other brands which are best, but we could procure only this from the amount which was given to us. So there will be microphone for the judge and for the lawyer down there in these courtrooms. High Court will have, according to the benches, so there will be one for the judge and one for the lawyers. One or two, I'm still not sure. I think it could be two, one for PP and one for the judge. But for judge it will be one. It will be having some master controls and all. Actually, this Televic brand, even experience teaches us what happened was we got money for let's say live streaming, commercial courts, online courts in this nomenclature, right? And then all the components were differently placed and the amounts given differently. Now we thought, we could not procure these items from the government e-marketing portal because it only supplies. Though the company which supplies that particular product would come and install, the problem was, let's say this courtroom live streaming system or online court also has one device called assistive listening device. Now this assistive listening device is such a kind of device. Let's say I'm speaking here, the hall is big, right? And the people sitting at the rear may not hear me properly also because of people talking around, etc. So if one particular, device is placed here near me or in that microphone, and you carry one device and you sit in the last desk and you put that earphones into your ear, then you'll hear me speaking very clearly even though you are in the... So it's a particular device, right? So we researched a lot what's its purpose in the courtroom, and it's not easily available also. Somehow we managed to get it one good one. That is usually for, actually it's not meant actually for courtrooms of our size or of our system where you can't even, breathe heavily. Right, because the courtroom is in our system is meant to be very silent. And then, so this device is actually meant for hearing in noisy environments, or it can be used as an interpretation device also if the person doesn't understand it, in the language of the court. Then if we have an interpretation system, if we have, right, then it can be interpreted and he can use that earphone and hear exclusively for him. So that device was also there, right? And there's so many other things. But each component was segregated and funds came differently. We did not know its use until we really delved into it. Now what we should do with this product or who gives it. Because no one was supplying this assistive listening device. They got confused with hearing aids, right? Somehow we researched it and we have got it. It's on the way. Now, if we had understood this, all these components are part of one system, then we could have gone with one tender and asked a particular company, just like this Televic is supplying us only microphone and sound box, because we tendered for that. We did not know that assistive listening is a part of that. Okay, cameras and all are a part of that system. So it was supposed to be an integrated system which this Televic company does it, but we did not understand it, so they are only giving it. Later on we found that this company, if they would have taken, if we had tendered it as a whole, then they were a complete solution to a courtroom, from microphone till everything, the components which we required. We were not aware of that, and we happened to bid it in parts with different components. So components are coming from different places, and now they would only install their parts and go away. Now the rest we'll have to work out on something as to how to that work. And for live streaming, there's one device called, what's that? The technical name, I forgot it. It's called Studio, Mini Studio, something like that, which switches the videograph. Let's say a judge is to be shown, you need not turn the camera. One can sit in the certain place there and can switch those things. It has many features. That is one of those features. From showing the judge to the accused or lawyers, the camera will be at its place. It will only see the videos, and that can take about 8 cameras at a time, the one which we are procuring. And that one was also very difficult to procure. Somehow we have managed it. The funds given were very less. Actually, what happened practically was those who were configuring it, what is required in the courtroom, some of the equipments, they are not matching with the fund provided. The standard is given is very high, the fund is too less, right? So somewhere, there may have been miscommunication between standardizing the specification and the amount. No one knew it. Amount came from somewhere else, just like our experience, right? We did not know this is a component of everything. So we'll be having this microphone system. Initially, I had a very hard time in pushing this because I was told that this brand is not known anywhere. So I did my own research and found that this brand has installed even in ICJ, Ministry of Defense in the India, and many other places. I don't remember the name. Indian Institute of Public Administration. It is not one of the best, but it is one of the complete solution to the audio system. Because once we go live, we need to have a good audio system also. And the devices look small, but it prevents feedbacks. It's perfect for live streaming. But as Ms. Subarna was telling me that, why can't we regularize these e-seva people? So I think that's up to the district courts to request for creation of post and all, because in future we'll need someone there in the courtroom to work these things out. Right? Because it's not something simple that is installed and done away with. This produces feedbacks and all, it has to be controlled. Once live streaming starts something, in fact our courtrooms are not designed in that way that we can have a smooth live streaming, including the Honorable High Court. Because someone needs to be there inside and see the courtroom proceedings from a place which is away from the courtroom but should be designed in such a way. Right? Now in the present case, someone will have to sit in the courtroom and work these devices, which might be annoying. But we have no choice. Maybe in the new coming High Court we can work out on that. But for districts also in the future, these devices need to be worked. Live streaming is not, there must be a control room actually. And we can't have control rooms inside the courtrooms. It must be somewhere. where they can view the courtroom also at the same time work on it. And because the demand of the rule is very big of this live streaming and all. It says 5 minutes delay and all. Why delay is because if someone throws a suit at a judge, we cannot live stream that, right? So all the live streaming, my technical team have said that they have found something which delays the live streaming. So actual live streaming that may be delayed by 1 or 2 minutes up to 5 minutes, which is viewed to the public, than what is actually happening in real time in the courtroom. Okay, so that is also required to be done. So this requires technical people sitting in the courtrooms. If this functions and the judge thinks that it is being delayed by 2 minutes, but someone throws his shoes and it is seen in the, because see, we cannot control everything. It will be live streaming through one platform, online platform, and then put it into YouTube, right? Now someone downloading from YouTube, making memes of judges, we cannot stop this. This may come to us also, someone commenting it very heavily. I think the only courses we need to overlook that. Though there will be a provision which says you cannot do that, but there will be lots of people against whom you will run. Right? You can't go behind everyone and put a case, and you don't have time for that. Because we all see, some of the High Court proceedings are coming to the Facebook and this one. And memes are also there, right? Especially in matrimonial cases it is coming. Because in the High Court, I think they are live streaming that also. Because it's an appellate stage and all. Because I have seen in some of the maintenance cases, the judge awarding something, judge saying, no, why should a woman take this much? And someone commenting that being a woman judge, it's like this, right? So though there are provisions, we cannot stop this. I think we need to overlook it. But of course, family court would not be having live streaming. So this is televic conference system that will come. Even I have not seen it actually, but by the name it goes and the specifications, I got an impression that the judge will be having the controls, basic controls. Yeah, I think the judge will be having the controls. Because I think one unit is called, they call it chairman unit. I think because it's called chairman because it has certain functions in it to mute someone, etc. So it will be judges only. Because obviously, judge has to use these mute buttons. How can you expect someone who would not know and more frightened with the judge when to close it, and if you somehow mistakenly put it off because you misunderstood the signal and you may get fired, right? That's our system, how it works. So it's not possible for someone else to understand you and mute you. Yeah, every time you have to signal him that, okay. So I think the main function, the judge should use it.
There should be a bulb at the side. You have a switch. So you put on.
Because we'll forget, initially when video conferencing came, we were talking, we kept on talking with our mics off. And we were so busy talking, especially during those areas committee meeting, and then when someone was reminding us that our mic is off, we never noticed it because we were in such a hurry to take our point of view. I think it happened to Jagat sir also once. Because once it comes only, then so you see, it has actually a complete solution. These systems are based on what kind of rooms you have actually, right? But yes, everyone started this, including the E-committee, because we do not know how our rooms are. Actually, the rooms should be soundproof also for this to function properly. But we have been given the money. Everyone has been given the money. It is there in the components. We purchased it. But I still feel that things should not work this way. It should be a proper designing of courtrooms. If you want to have a proper sound system, proper lighting, and proper live streaming, etc. Now we have to fit these systems into that small courtrooms, which was never designed to put all these things. Even if it was designed, these systems are quite different. You see, if you can see the equipments that are being placed and where it should be placed. Actually, these conference rooms conference room, how we build our buildings is that there's a conference room, no matter, it's just a conference room, it should be wide, big, right? But if you have a planning of installing all this thing, it should be built that way, which we don't have. So hopefully it works. And just like we use these computers just for the purpose of maybe writing some judgments and etc., maybe it will be of that value only unless we know its uses, because we don't have proper rooms to install these equipments. Though the person who got this work did come and check the High Court, according to that they have tendered this work, but I don't think that it is really made for our rooms that we have. It must have a particular design. Because when I was talking with the person who was giving this, his requirements are quite different. I was not understanding his perspective, and we argued on many points also. Now, one of the things was, the most costly is, the cost of this system is determined by mic. How many mics you use? If there is one mic, its cost will come down, because with that all the periphery comes in. The more mics we have, the more periphery is coming, including the size of the amplifiers. So that is how the costing of these system is done. That's what I found. It's not because we'll get 10 mics, then so it's cost of 10 mics. But with all this mic, everything comes out. Probably of this system also. So the price increases by the number of mics we have. So it was quite a learning experience for me also, which I did not know. I thought it's a very simple system of bringing the mic, putting it on and connecting to a sound box, which we at presently have even in the Honorable High Court, where just microphones are connected to the speakers. And this is a different system. There is amplifier, there are so many other instruments which controls this sound. And the room environment also it considers actually. For about 5 or 6 days with no dust on his soul. So he said it's that different. And I was told by Honorable Chief Justice also, it's one of the best cities to visit in the country apart from some of the few. So their e-system is quite different, which I was told that, it's totally, not only the e-infrastructure, but the physical infrastructure were also more than standard. So as I spoke, the courtrooms must include these systems, microphones need to be a proper courtroom of proper size and all these are mathematical measurements. I was told by the television person. So, but we are installing it to our courtrooms, especially I think Gangtok CJM East and CJM JM, small one. JM also is still, the CJM code is still the same one which was there before.
I
Gangtok. You? Okay. That means that courtroom is the poorest, no? Because since you are from Pakistan, you was put there.
No one, that's why the entrance. That is not the use of the single word.
Okay, and JM is that. So yeah, these are the items which are given. Porta cabin, and for that, Porta cabin is the Seva Kendra's cabin. Okay, contractual staff is there. This district itself is paying the money. This time we also get money because the committee gave us funds for the contractual staff for this financial year. Yes, projector with screen is also coming to these new court complexes. Now see how things work. Okay, now others, who edits it? You? Who? Can you stop it for a while and edit this portion also? Please, I need to be frank because and online course. We do not have online course, but we have put in some of the courses as online course. On the ground that of course they are doing the online proceedings. VC is online proceeding. So our argument would be that no one would say anything, but we are prepared to answer also if anyone raises a question to it. Paperless and online courtrooms. Yeah, you can put on. LED display, 55-inch. This will be for those courtrooms which are going paperless. So since our same court functions as different courts, that court will get it. Now VC unit is in every paperless court, one VC unit, right? And online court, one VC unit. So it was that's how the components was segregated. The tablet means, actually they said tablet, okay? Initially we found it very difficult to understand what would a paperless court do with a tablet. So though the Wacom etc. are all tablets, but the size is 24 inch. It can never be considered a tablet. Tablets are the smaller ones, right? I think so. Some men will. Is tablet restricted to its size, or it's something else defines a tablet? Okay, then?
Side where the court, whatever the court filings are, not filings to be on, what I found, I accessed NDG site last day, and I found that every court, how many courts are, how many cases have been filed, how many cases are still pending, that information I could access.
Yes, actually it's an information portal, but now it's being developed more, okay? And this is an information grid actually. Whatever is the courts are uploading in the CIS gets reflected out here. Probably it is meant for being accessed by researchers and all who did not ask us data evidence, but the I don't know. Oh yeah. What we are also doing at the High Court level is we are developing a software where monthly statement need not be signed physically. Okay, the judges need to sign it digitally, and recently my team said that they have been able to extract the data from CIS itself. So even data filling is not required out there. Initially we had made the data had to be filled just like it's put in the paper, right? But now I've been told that no, they are working on it. They have been successful ones. We'll test it in some of the district. I think they'll test it from Gangtok only. That anyone does not have to do anything on it. The staff who is preparing monthly can read the data. We will ourselves fetch it from the CIS monthly, and whoever is there who needs to see it will see it electronically. So once we start this, then that burden. The only thing required is now, that it should be. Data must be entered correctly.
Then to see all the data that goes on the function and all that come also.
We have stopped actually. Because the problem is, there might be one or two case files that does not match with your physical records on the online. The reason is it is not, data is not entered properly. Or there could be several other reasons also which is beyond our control, right? So we are also seeing that what CIS gives, that will be our monthly format. We will not include all those things of seeking police act, and if possible we will do it. That can come in miscellaneous. It's not such a huge legislation that someone that needs data needs to be so much required. So we are seeing into this. Of course the software is ready now. They are testing it for all the districts we have made it. So after that, a judge need not sign also. Monthly data, in fact, if you all want to see it, you will see it. Otherwise it will not even be put up before the judges. We will extract it directly from there, whatever the computer records are there, and we will be setting up parameters, what needs to be shown to the particular honorable judge. And according to their requirement, we will be preparing it, and it will automatically show which cases are more than 2 years or 5 years, or at what stage. That will be a future we are looking into it. At what stage the particular case is pending. So we'll start with basic, but we wish to proceed there also. Because this was my personal initiative, because it took a lot of time down there, because never the data is correct that's put up before us in the papers. We need to check everyone, sit with the calculator and add the total also, otherwise there is wrong, right? So this took a lot of time and a headache. This data in the CIS, even if you don't want anybody to see it, okay, if someone wants to see it, they will see. So what's the wrong? We can't change what is there in the computer. So whatever is being taken by the High Court to see it is what is there fed in the computer, right? So what to worry? What's there to worry? Even if something is wrong there, then maybe we can explain it if we are required to explain. But yes, these reasons for delay often it's one of those subjects which is asked by High Court or to us by the committee, that why courts are not entering reasons for delay. One general field was there within which everything used to come, right? Because they want to see everyone wants to see what is the reason for delay in cases in courts. these are the dashboard of anxieties. Now, one more development that's going to come, it's in the testing phase, that the criminal summons will also be delivered by police through online mode. And it will come back to you online. We are integrating CCTNS and CIS, the medium being the ICJs. Till now, only civil cases were, process servers were serving through end step. Now, even the criminal processes, the summons will be uploaded from the court, which will be extracted by the police from CCTNS through ICJs, and they will deliver it, right? And they'll inform us electronically whether it has been delivered or not. So that will save a lot of time, and so that means prosecution branch will not have to know which PS it has to go. Probably they'll be using computers down there. No, they are not required also. They can work as intermediary there. Probably they will be tasked with that. Which, because usually they make, sometimes they make a mistake as to which jurisdiction it should go. And sometimes what happens, if you have noticed in summons, is that if you issue a summons, let's say the witness is from Ranipur, right? And the offense is of Sadar. I'm being very careful on this. Your summons will come to SHO Gangtok. That summon will go round and round and come back to you saying, some SHOs are brave enough to say this does not belong to my jurisdiction. So summons should be said where the witness sent, should be sent where the witness resides, right? Not which PS case is that. Though some of this PS will send it to that PS, but it will take a long time. So you must be very careful in this. That is one of the reasons for witnesses not turning up in time. So these problems will be solved. Distribution will be proper. Because the office also thinks that it's a case of particular PS. The witness is from Jordan, the case is of Pakyong, the summons is going to Pakyong PS. It will take a lot of time. It can go directly to Jordan jurisdiction. So this will be saved by that functionality. And these are quite big things which I need not tell. Purely technical. There are a lot of issues that come which, I don't remember now. Because we sit in a lot of meetings where a particular problem that the technology clashes with the judicial processes comes into play. And they try to find out a solution. Sometimes these technological people say, no, we cannot do that at all. What you are asking is something which cannot be done at all. But we say this is the process of the law. Then somehow they try to give some space, but it's still not meeting all those requirements of law. Because software developers are not some people who know law. Okay, that's what I said, there's a clash between reasoning and logic. So, this is it. Then there is a CIS topic, I talked about CIS also, it's software, which wherever data are fed. So many things are yet to come, and we should be working, and that's all. Thank you. Thank you everyone.